Hey guys, this episode of Wednesdays with Will and Terry is brought to you by our sponsors over at the Seed Box. What is the Seed Box? It's a pocket-sized affirmation card set crafted to serve as a deeply rooted expression of self-love or a unique gift of encouragement to those you truly and deeply care about. So you can sow, ingrain, act, and develop. Guys, the Seed Box is awesome. Simply what it is a box set with cards inside to give you motivation, to inspire you to be your best self. One of the cards reads, "You are the epitome of beauty. Your outside radiance is a reflection of your glorious essence. You are one of the most wonderful creations. You are a living, breathing, and walking masterpiece. I am beautiful." Guys, I think this would make a great gift for Mother's Day, Father's Day, Valentine's Day, Christmas, and birthday. Just a great gift overall, guys. Please show them some love and show them some support for being our sponsors over at Wednesdays with Will and Terry. And we have a little treat for you guys. If you go to theseedbox.com, that's TheSeadbox.com, and use the promotion code Wednesdays, you will get a discount on your first order. So guys, they have showed us some love. They're awesome. We believe in what the company is doing. We believe in their affirmations. I think that this will make a great gift. Now back to the show, guys. Hey guys, welcome to another episode of Wednesdays with Will and Terry. Today we have a very special guest, Actually, we have our first author, our first content creator, our first book writer on the show, Mr. Chase Marshall. I will let him introduce himself, and I will let him introduce his amazing book to you guys. So, Mr. Chase, go ahead and take it from here.
How's it going, guys? Chase Marshall, author. It's a new title for me. I'm just getting used to actually hearing that and saying that, but it's nice. It sounds nice. I accept it, and I rock with it. Yeah. Introduction of myself, man. Yeah. So, an author. Yeah. Many other titles: father, brother, son. You know, Mother's Day just passed. Peace to my parents. They're doing fantastically well. Everything I get, for the majority, comes from them. You know, I like to say, one of my favorite quotes, I guess, is your parents are your first teacher, and experience is your best teacher. And I had some really, really, really great parents, and I owe them everything. So pandemic hit 2019 going into 2020, right? And we're still somewhat dealing with all the effects of everything that happened during that time. But on myself, learning, studying, watching the landscape of our nation and the rest of the world, you know, a lot of people were losing jobs. We were losing a lot of people. Kind of coming into my own mindset of, what am I going to leave behind, right? What am I going to leave behind? I got 2 young children, and I want to make sure that the idea of legacy, I guess, right? I want to leave something behind. I want my grandchildren to hear my name and not only know me, hopefully they get a chance to know me, but hopefully later on in life, they get to see some of the things that I did. You know, great people, great men that have great long legacies. You know, you can see them on TV, you can read books about them, you can go on the internet, you can read articles about them. I want to be one of these people. I want to be somebody that somebody can read about later on in life. And I'm taking the steps towards doing those things today. So I've had an idea for a long time about creating a story or a character. Earlier in life, I was big into writing, big into literature, big into poetry, rhyming. I rapped a bit, I wrote songs, I wrote music, did all these things earlier in life. And then, you know, growing up, life began taking its toll. I was less creative. I was, you know, more into just trying to establish myself in a career and not getting any of these creative juices out. But I think it's very important that we all have these these outlets and these mediums to be able to create. You know, musicians get to do these things, artists in all forms get to do these things. And you know, I'm left-handed. I love creativity. I love all the different aspects of being creative. And I haven't, I found myself in a place where I haven't been able to express myself creatively in a long time. And pandemic freed up a lot of time for me. So I got back to writing. I had these ideas for years, long before the pandemic. And, you know, having this extra free time, I was like, I'm not going to waste it. You know, day by day is going by. I gotta make sure that I'm doing something productive every day. I'm working my 9 to 5. That's fine. I'm coming home. I can't just chill. I can't just sit back on my laurels. I gotta put in some time and some hours into what excites me, you know, what interests me. And so I bought a new laptop and I got to typing up. I got to jotting down ideas. My baby girl was around. I said, look, I got this idea. Help me out. Show me some ideas that you may have. So we collaborated together. We brainstormed together. We came up with a bunch of different ideas. We settled down on a central character. And we came up with some storylines and some plot ideas and a bunch of different pieces that actually made it into our first book. But there's still a bunch of ideas and pieces that are going to be scattered off into subsequent books and the next books to come that hopefully this book turns into a successful series.
What inspired you guys for the bunny?
So initially it was a whole different character, right? It was a completely different character at first. So I would say probably back in 2014, what inspired the character that I had in 2014, I really don't remember. But I thought it was a very cute character. I thought it was a character that would resonate with children and young readers. Mm-hmm. And I thought I did my research, and I probably did do my research at that time to make sure that character was available. It wasn't an idea that was already taken, right? Fast forward a few years, I really start getting into this process of creating this book, and I did a lot. I completely had it finished, reread, revised. I began the process of copywriting and starting the social medias, getting the Gmail and all this type stuff. And I was having the hardest time of getting the Gmail. And I'm like, somebody already has this Gmail. This is so specific. Like specific. Like how could they have this? And then I do some more recent Google searches, and I've come to find out that somebody had this character already. Somebody already had this character. They had a whole book and a book series, and they came up with it in 2017. And I'm like, oh man, like had I really gotten down to it, you know, I probably would have had the idea first. So
what was it before the
I really don't want to say. Okay, I don't want to say. I can't promote her stuff. But it's great though. It's really good. And what they did with it was different from what I would have done with it. So again, and being that it was different, it wasn't that hard of an adjustment since I already had the story written. I already had my story written. I could just basically change the main character and change the name and things like that. So I made a quick little adjustment. Because also another thing, like we had got in the studio and we recorded the audio and everything already too. So there was a lot that was already being pushed, unfortunately, that needed to be adjusted. So the Blue Bunny, right? It was really just a quick adjustment. It wasn't. It was something that I felt would be an animal, something cute, something still obscure about this animal, not a regular pink bunny or a white bunny or a more realistic looking bunny. I needed to go along with the story. I wanted to make her stand out. She has to stand out, right? She has to look completely different from the rest. And then with the blue, as we get into the story, you know, those feelings of feeling blue, or the feelings of being down sometimes, the feelings of, you know, being somewhat dreary or sadness, you know. So that's where the color blue came from, as far as using.
Makes sense.
Yeah.
Is it okay to give the title of the book and like a
Let's
brief
do it.
synopsis?
Let's do it. So
Thank you.
here's a copy of the book, Honey the Blue Bunny and the Bonaventure Bee. Here it is, 30 pages. The synopsis is she's a young girl. She battles with esteem issues brought on by her medical condition. And throughout the story, she finds her inspiration and motivation to succeed in the school spelling bee.
Stay.
Yeah, so she, you know, my daughter was a big inspiration for it. During the time when I first started writing the book, the age of the character is roughly around third grade, third, fourth grade-ish. And that's about the time when we started writing this book. My daughter was about that age at that time. She's much older now. But yeah, so that's roughly around the age that the character is. And the book is geared towards upper elementary, middle school kids. It's not your early children, not the kindergartners and preschoolers, but the elementary schools, the middle school age range, what they may call middle grade.
I would assume that's probably when they start to discover those emotions, huh?
I believe so.
Yeah,
I believe so. That's what I've seen from my own research, I guess.
Yeah, makes sense. I got 3 little ones myself. They've probably around that age started to like display some like frustrations and some a little bit of conscious like personality thing.
You know, all those start really early. They start right away, but it's being able to express them, being able to express those emotions, being able to express those feelings and talk about them, and you know, use the correct verbiage that truly defines how we're feeling. And I think at that age and range, they start using the right for their feelings.
Okay.
I have a lot of friends, co-workers, people who have ideas. So, and I'm one of those people who I have a million ideas, but I have no direction, I guess, of how to get from point A to Z like you did. So what was the writing process like? Or
still far away from Z, but definitely dove off from A and B. What the writing process was like was there's a lot of writing and rewriting. There's a lot of that, right? So definitely I wanted to start with gathering my thoughts, gathering any basic story is a beginning, middle, and end, right? But I wanted to develop the character. I wanted to really find out her name, her ideas, her feelings, her passions, what really makes her her, right? And so I wrote an outline. I wrote an outline of basically how the story was supposed to go, and tried to figure out some character development as far as what she's going to look like, how she feels, how she thinks, you know, what's her overall attitude. You know, is she a nice girl? Is she a mean girl? Is she, you know, warm-hearted? Is she mean-spirited? Is she funny? Is she not funny? All these different things. And I asked a lot of these questions in order to develop who this character is.
You don't have to.
Again, so what you mentioned was everybody has all these ideas, right? Just like me, I had these ideas too. And during that time period, I just kind of felt like I've got to get these ideas out. Like I would be so upset if I have all these ideas in my head and I don't really get them out anywhere. I got to write them down. I got to email them somewhere. I got to send them to somebody. I got to get this stuff out. And I think a lot of people are like that. And that's where I found myself. And fortunately, it's manifested itself into this book.
I mean, that's a drive. That's a particular drive, though, that because I know a lot of creative people, and like Will was saying, like even me, I could go through periods where like I'll be at work and I'm like, man, that's a cool idea, or this and that, you know, come up with all these things, and then you get home and you already let your mind go to other stuff, and I'm like, what was it? or what's that? What was that melody? And this and that, and it's gone.
Yeah.
And then it'll pop back up later in a different form. And you're just like, man, I remember thinking of this before, but it was so good at that moment. I wish I would have wrote it down. I guess it takes enough of those experiences, huh?
Yeah, you hate that. Absolutely hate that. Oh, my notes app on my phone is littered with ideas and just thoughts and, you know, links and websites and stuff that may or may not even really make sense if I don't type it correctly, but make a lot of voice notes also. And, you know, every day, every couple of days, I go back through these notes and rehash what I've gotten back in there.
So when you were I would assume you did plenty of research, but was there like a particular style of children's book that you wanted to in the beginning, or was it something you fell on?
Definitely stumbled on it. So my initial ideas for this book, it wasn't supposed to be this long at all. It was supposed to be much shorter. It was supposed to just be more of a picture book. But as the story kind of began to develop, it wasn't expressing everything that I needed it to say. So it was going to be really short. It was going to be straight to the point. Like I was saying, more my style of person that I am. I wanted this book to somewhat reflect that. But as we got into the ideas of what's really going to happen in the story and how it could really form full circle, there was just a lot more that needed to be said in the book and in the story. So it grew much longer than what I thought initially. But I'm super happy with the way that it turned out. It's much better than what I thought it was going to be in the beginning, actually. And I'm glad. I'm super happy.
That's always a good feeling when you bring an idea into the reality and it's like it's pleasing. I mean, even if it didn't come to what you wanted exactly, you actually went through with an idea.
Absolutely.
Appreciable.
Absolutely. Yeah. To be 100% honest, it's not 100% to my vision, right? But it's great. It's really great. It's a really good piece of work, and it's just the first. It's the first. It's good, and it's the first. So the next is going to be better and better and better, and I'm going to build on that for sure.
Yeah, that's pretty exciting.
Mm-hmm.
So with the artist, right? Did you tinker in trying to create it yourself first, or
so
did you
I know a couple of artists, and I did tinker just a little bit. I had initial little sketches of my own, but I just truly felt it wasn't going to be close to the quality that I was looking for as far as the illustrations. And I went through. There was a full journey in that too. I ran into lots of hurdles and roadblocks along the way of getting this book created. I looked at lots of different web listings of different illustrators, of different artists, and different styles. But all in all, I settled on, I went to Fiverr.com, the Fiverr app, and I hired an illustrator off of Fiverr that I felt could do a good job and would be in my price range, would be in the affordability that I needed at that time. There was a lot of different moves that I was trying to make and trying to do to get this book completed. And I couldn't afford to pay the top tier artists to bring it to life. And despite what people say, right, you're not supposed to judge a book by its cover, but this type of book is going to be judged by its cover, whether I want to, believe it or not. No matter what the words are going to be on the inside, this book is going to be judged by its cover. And I truly believe that. I'm not saying that it's right or wrong. I just believe that's what it is. So I wanted to be able to have the most, the best looking cover that I could possibly get. And I think my artist that I work with did a really good job of conveying my direction and bringing forth a character that I really have grown to love.
That's cool.
I think you did a great job of capturing the age range that your heart was desired. Because when I look at it, and I'm thinking of that age range, it's like Disney Jr., Nick Jr.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah,
that's
dude.
kind of the age range you're going for, that like right before preteen, right before teenage year.
Yeah.
I think it's amazing.
Thank you.
One of the questions I had though, that was it's on topic, but
Yeah.
it's a little different. Being a writer, being a man, being a Black man, and then saying, hey, I have this amazing idea, and it's an idea for a children's book. You know, I want to write a book that's going to help children overcome some of the hurdles that maybe some of my children might have went through, or some hurdles that I have gone through as a child. Did you run into any flack trying to get the book edited or published, where people are like, well, is there no rap in the book? Or, you know, did you run into any stereotype things or anything of that nature? Or was it pretty much just like people were like, hey, I like the idea, but maybe the story should end this way, or I like the idea, but maybe the bunny should be a boy, or maybe it should be a girl? Did you have any of those issues?
Not so far, actually. I thought about many of those different things, and with the writing, you know, before self-publishing it, before putting it on Amazon, I asked around to not only close-knit friends and family, but people that I didn't know that well. I asked people about that as well, like, because this character, she does have a medical condition. I wanted to make sure that I wasn't just like pandering, or I wanted to make sure that I'm not trying to seem as though I'm just trying to profit off of something like that. And many people said, no, it's good that you're bringing light to this situation, and you're giving those children, which was part of my goal, you're giving those children a character to relate to. And that's part of me writing this book is, I'm thinking about the kids that are sometimes in the hospital, kids that have to go back and forth to the doctors, kids that have to spend time dealing with whatever illnesses that they have early on. We talk about representation a lot of times in our communities, in our society. And these children, they have their Disney characters, they have their Nickelodeon characters, but they also now can have a character that may be going through some of the things that they're going through, and they can relate to a lot of these different feelings. And this character can helpfully take them out of whatever discomfort that they may have, even for a little while reading this book. And I think that's an amazing thing. And it just so happens that me, a Black man, has come up with this idea and written down this story for them to be able to do that. And I think that's fantastic. Along my way now, still in the process of looking for a literary agent to help me sell this book, to get my book to a mainstream publisher or a bigger publisher. One of the things with finding a literary agent, they are looking for writers that have my characteristics: a Black male, straight, quote unquote person of color, author. And I just haven't found the one to fully accept my book and take my book on as a client. But that's part of the process. That's one of the things that I've learned along this way is it takes a while to find a literary agent. And they help a lot. They do a lot. They do a great deal. They know the industry in and out. They have the connections. And if I want to take this book as high as I can, then I do need to get a literary agent. So I'm still in the search of that. But it takes a while. And I understand that. My expectations, I don't think my expectations are out of character or out of range. It just takes a while. And so we're still working on that daily.
Yeah, that's understandable. Definitely.
I'm not sure if you guys are familiar with literary agents, but what
you can do it, like explain it for sure. Yeah,
to my understanding, right? I think a lot of us know about real estate agents, right? And when you see a real estate agent, you come across real estate agents, a real estate agent is like, oh, okay, you want to buy a house? Let me be your agent. I will help you. I will get you through this whole process of buying a house. Or if you're trying to sell a house, let me be your agent. I will sell your house. I will get you top dollar. I will sell it for, above market value, all these things. The real estate agent is begging you to serve you. It's like totally the opposite with a literary agent. Literary agent, you have to beg them. You have to fill out applications. You have to query them and basically, beg them to please sell my book or help me sell my book. And so,
Yeah.
you know, it's a process and it's tough.
No,
But they
I
absolutely,
understand because I do art shows for painting. I'm a painter, so I have to
yeah.
get someone that's already has like a name or respectable
Mhm.
like clientele. I
Mhm.
can't, me just showing up. There's so
Yeah.
many artists. It's like
Yeah.
they're just gonna be like, yeah, just like the guy who just walked out, you know.
Right.
So you got to
Exactly.
get somebody with a name that could represent you. That makes sense.
Mhm.
And then like to your point, like properties will like sell themselves
Yeah.
as of where you're giving them a product they got to be passionate about enough to like pitch it too, huh?
It's the market. It's the market. That's just
Yeah,
kind of the way that it goes.
it's cool, man.
Yeah.
When you're looking for a literary agent,
Mhm.
are they categorized? For example, are there like, people who just look for Stephen King's type books, people who look for children's books only, or are they pretty much just all around the market?
No, certainly. That's a great question. No, there are definitely agents that specialize in different categories and different genres. Definitely, that's part of the research that you have to do to go through all these different agents and find the ones that are really that really specialize in children's books or middle grade books where this book is. But there certainly are the ones that specialize in every different category. So, sci-fi, fiction, nonfiction, adult, contemporary, all these different categories. So yeah, I certainly, I'm only looking for and querying the ones that are in children's books or in middle grade books because they have the knowledge and they'll work with those that know this industry the best, and know this market the best.
Right now with streaming services being so big, and I do consider Kindle, which I know that you're a part of, to be a streaming service.
Mm-hmm.
Have you thought about maybe sitting down with like Netflix and Prime Video and people of that nature? Because when I look at it, and I haven't even read it, but for some reason I just can't shake the fact that it would make like an amazing web series or an amazing cartoon.
Yeah.
And I'm sure it will get there, especially with the animation style. And I can't think of any cartoon from my children's Nick Jr., Disney Jr., PBS, where they have somebody who's dealing with a medical issue and overcoming that. Everything was like Little Bill or Blue's Clues or something that'll help you count, something that'll help you read, but not really anything to help you really can get over your emotions. I think the only cartoon that I can think of is Horrid Henry or Horrible Henry or something like that, where the little kid would always get in trouble by his mom because he just always had an anger problem. But I've never seen one where like this.
Yeah. I absolutely would love to. I would love to. That's part of the dream. I want Honey to become as big as she possibly can get. TV shows, cartoons, maybe movie, games, mobile gaming, YouTube series. All of these things would be totally viable. And I think, along with her character, the brand itself can grow very vast. And I'm absolutely open to all of those ideas. And I think just starting one book and running it into a series, I think this is the starting point. I think it's a good starting point. But she can go all over the spectrum.
Nice.
One thing that I've seen happen a lot with, being a creator or knowing creators is a lot of the times they'll get offered positions where they're able to create for other creators or other businesses. Would Honey be something that maybe down the line if somebody said, hey, I'll give you $7 million for this idea and we take it and we run with it, would that be something that you would be willing to do? Or is this something that your heart is telling you, I'm going to hold on to this. This is going to be my thing?
No, we can negotiate. I don't have a problem with that. I mean, that's business. And me having the faith in myself and knowing myself, I've created Honey and I can take her as far as I can take her. If somebody with more business acumen or somebody who has a bigger industry could take her and make her even bigger, certainly will. I don't have a problem with that at all.
Only
I can
issue I
create
can
another.
think,
Yeah.
only issue I could think of with that is like, say for instance, a production company takes over it, and then they change some of the traits of the character, and now because they're the owner, you know.
Yeah.
And then
Yeah.
what about your previous fans who are a fan of your work, and then they see the character come out with that, and then they might attach that to your name and your creativity.
I would absolutely hate that, but it's okay. It's a part of business.
Yeah.
And I understand it. I understand it. I get it. You know, I think of the example like Fubu. So for us biased, there was a big company, and they did as much as they could do with it for a number of years. It was great. It was, you know, they were doing their thing, and eventually they sold it. And when they sold it, whoever had it after them, they tarnished everything. It didn't, you know, it couldn't hold up. It was the reputation went way down. And, you know, the creators were always going to be attached to that no matter what the brand was doing long after they had it, right? But those creators did very well, and they still are to this day. So I wouldn't mind being in that same position. That's all.
That makes sense. Like they literally maximized their 15 minutes. Right. Like they got as much, they were super popular, like parallel with like Nike brand almost.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. So I could, you know, I could only hope for some of that success as well.
Was Honey the Blue Bunny, excuse me, your first venture in the writing? Because like I said, I've listened to some of the stuff you had to say on our men's meetings, and you are extremely intelligent and extremely quiet. And I know that normally the quiet, intelligent ones are the ones who are like out doing a lot. So is this your first venture in writing, or have you ever done music videos or short films or anything of that nature?
No, man, you know, like many young Black males that grew up in the 90s and 2000s, man, I was a rapper. I tried to rap for quite a while. I was rapping, but just wasn't making any money off of it. So, you know, those raps and rap songs and, you know, writing for myself, writing for others, it always was in me. I've always had the passion to do it. And so, yeah, writing treatments for videos. We definitely worked on videos. I've always had ideas for TV shows and movies and those things as well. I'm planning to get into all those things also, but I'm just focused on Honey right now. But I've always had the passion for all of that. And I definitely did do a lot of that stuff before. And so I have no problem with getting back into it. And not only not having a problem, I absolutely would love to get more into all of these different things. I hope this, you know, this sparks off my opportunities. You know, I hope this opens the door for some more opportunities. I'm hoping to meet a lot of people, hoping to network with a lot of people along with you guys. Thank you for having me on this platform as well. I'm hoping to meet with a lot of other people and work on a lot of other things creatively and create some content. I want to get in the TV space. I want to get in the movie space. You know, I want to get into even, you know, screenwriting and playwriting and plays and things like that. I want to get in all of these different areas. I would love to, you know, I got a lot of ideas, man. I got a lot of ideas, and I would love to share them. I would love to.
I'm going to link you with this gentleman I know, believe he's in Texas now, Cortez Mack. He writes short movies, and he wins all these awards and all of these things. Awesome. And since I know you write and things of that nature, I'll link you to him, and then maybe you can write something. And he has all these people who act for him. I actually met him in a men's group on Facebook, and I still keep in contact with him. So I'll shoot you his information and reach out to him and everything after this, because maybe that could be a connection that sparks.
It could be, man. I'd appreciate it. Thank you so much.
Yeah, you absolutely welcome.
Man. I'm working. So just based off of actually just an idea came to me the other day, man. I'm gonna work on a short film. It'll be my first actual short film that I've worked on or tried to do, but I've been doing my research. I've been studying a few little things. I got final draft. I've been typing up you know, my screenplay, my screenwriting, and I just want to do this little short idea and hopefully turn it into something. I got an idea. I'm going to try my best to turn it into something, and, you know, I'm going to give it a shot. I'm just going to dive head first into it, see what happens, you know? Who knows?
Okay.
And maybe nothing, and maybe something fire, but we'll see. This is the same with this book. I guess I'm kind of at that stage now. Like, let's just try some stuff. Let's just try it. Let's see what happens. I'm not overthinking it no more. I'm not doing these memes, these clips, a lot of different things that I've been seeing going around, like these little things. The ones that have been resonating with me are basically telling me, stop doing all this studying and start doing some more doing. Just do it. Just do it. Just do it and try it. Trial and error. You fail. Try again. Do something else. Try again. You never know. You may hit. So let's go for it.
Yeah, I've been listening to this audiobook. It's called The Magic of Thinking Big.
Yeah.
And he is talking about that, like people miss opportunities because they spend all their time preparing until they get something started.
Yeah.
And then he compared it, like guy A had an idea, let's I want to go become a rock climber, and he goes and gets it done. And then A says, man, I want to become a rock climber. But then he finds excuses of how he has to fix his body, then he has to change his schedule, and then he has to get the right stuff, and then just time passes while this other guy is going through trial and error right from the get-go. Yeah. So it's the best the successful man goes out and does what he says he wants to do.
Guy B is halfway up the mountain already, Yeah. That's what I'm trying to be. That's where I'm trying to get to.
I mean, it's inspiring to me to hear to just to listen to the fact that you had an idea and you got so passionate about seeing it come to life.
Yeah.
Because I go through like anxiety with my ideas, especially the good ones. Especially the good ones, they terrify me because I'm like, first I'm like, what if I'm never satisfied? Because I like to think about myself as like a maximalist almost with my art. Like I always want to go back in. I want to take it out the frame and add something else. And I'm like that with creating characters and anything in like comic book ideas and stuff. And then after that, when you get hyped, then there's another fear that comes towards the end where it's like, what if this becomes a success?
Yeah.
How am I going to manage that? What if it becomes bigger than what I thought and I'm prepared for?
100% understand where you're coming from. I 100% understand where you're coming from with all of these different emotions. That the word anxiety, I try not to use it because I feel like it's being overused, but it fits.
Oh yeah,
and it's real. It's a real thing. For the first time in my whole life, it was during some point last year when before vaccines and COVID was running rampant. For the first time in my life, I really experienced some anxiety, like not sleep and wondering, did my coworker have it? Do I have it? Have I been exposed? Am I going to give it to my family? What happens if I do get sick? All these different anxiety sort of feelings were actually really, really consuming me for a short while. And I think part of this came from those ideas, right? Part of this is you never know how much time you really have. You never know, what's going to happen tomorrow. So I want to maximize, as you said, that term. I want to do as much as I can today, before it's too late. So that's why I'm trying to build on my legacy for sure. Back in the day of being a rapper or a writer, I would create all these different songs and have these different song ideas and put them, have them on these hard drives and these laptops and these computers and stuff, and never actually have them come out, never see the light of day. But then a big name artist, a signed artist, has a song on the radio that's so close to the ideas, or there's like lines, there's bars that I had, and somebody had like a really hot line, like, what? I said that. I said exactly that, that type of thing. But it always just reaffirmed in myself, feeling like, I'm on the right path. I'm doing the right things, It just continued to tell me like, okay, if you did this ahead of, back then, or, if you already had certain ideas like this and somebody else is along those same lines doing it to that level, then you could have been on that level too. So I totally have faith in myself. faith in my capabilities and my abilities. And I think, you know, they're going to take me far, and I'm trying my best to manifest.
I believe in you, man. You know, it's crazy about the whole concept of the idea thing you explained, because I like to think that it could be kind of philosophical. I've been guilty of being that way, but I like to think that like there's no, like, people don't come up with the ideas, that ideas find the person, and they search for the confidence in that person, like the how much the level of knowledge they know of their self, of their capabilities, and how much confidence they have behind it is what judges if that idea is going to resonate with you long enough to become a reality, or if it's going to pass on to the next person. Because when, like, I used to write, I used to make music too, right? And I still make music, but I used to rap, and it was against the grain of my creativity style, because I'm a singer songwriter with with guitar and piano, you know. And then I got in that crowd of hip hop, and I've been a fan of it, so I started. But I noticed in there I got really competitive with my like crew of guys that were rapping stuff, and at time after I went hard in the paint on my writing, and then afterwards, like, I hear songs and stuff, and I'm like, man, I could have really done something with that. Like, I'm looking at my own stuff as my worst critic, and I'm like, these guys, I hear this on the radio, and it's these guys, and then how they even describe it, it's like, it's as baby as I would have described it when I had the idea, right? But they had the confidence behind it, and they knew enough they were prepared for the opportunity.
Yeah, that's a big thing.
That's the thing I've been learning lately. I've been hearing it in a lot of, or reading a lot of it. They say like, all you have to do is prepare yourself for the occasion of whatever you want.
Be ready for the moment.
Yeah, it'll be ready for it. Yeah, be prepared at all times. So you constantly have to tinker yourself. Like, don't waste any time. But I look at that. Like, I think that we're just like, we're like these spaces, like these, you know, these homes for these ideas, and they're looking for the right one to move into and just.
I love that. I love that. That's awesome. I'm gonna remember that.
Yeah, cool, man. Thanks, appreciate it.
For me, what I'm learning as I get older, and I'm kind of seeing that in this book, the things that are bigger than you are the things that you accomplish. Those things that are just like whims, like, oh man, I'm gonna build a spaceship and go outer space and kick a soccer ball. It's like, we all have those crazy things, but like, you know, I'm a religious man. So I feel like when God gives you those goals, or he gives you those assignments that are bigger than you, those are the ones that you have no choice but to accomplish. And what I mean by that is, one of the things that Kay said earlier on is he was looking to fulfill a legacy. He was looking to leave something for his children. He was looking, you know, I read up Mike Tyson, I read in his book, and then he actually says it all the time. You know, when he looks at like Muhammad Ali, when he looks at like all of these conquerors, they wanted to be left as gods. You know, they wanted to be remembered forever. And he had that same complex. It's just, which is why he did what he did, because he wanted to leave a legacy. He always wanted to be remembered. When I look at Chase's book, what I see is that he also has his daughter on there as an author as well.
Absolutely.
So he set her up so that now going forth, that for the rest of her life, not only will he be remembered, she will be remembered.
Absolutely.
And, you know, I think because he had the drive of like, it's bigger than me now, because I'm taking it as when you was rapping, when I was trying to be a professional skateboarder, that was for me. You know, it's like, this is my dream, this is my goal, this is what I wanted to do. But when it got hard, or when I saw it wasn't bringing in the revenue, I was getting hurt. It's like, you know what, I think I need to stop that. But when I had my first daughter, it was like, okay, this skateboarding ain't putting no money on the table. My daughter needs diapers. She needs food. I got to go and get a job. Absolutely. And I think because you were looking at it from a place of, this is bigger than just me. You know, this is about my children. This is about my namesake. Even the fact that you went to her and said, look, I have this dope idea, which you probably could have did all by yourself. Like you said, you had the character in your head, you had the concept, you had it brainstormed, but that God in you still was like, what's the missing portion? Oh, okay, let me see what her ideas are.
Right.
You know? And with that, did you guys butt heads at all? Did you guys just And that,
No, a little bit. We did. She had some ideas that I didn't agree with, and there was some stuff that I kind of overruled that she came up with. I was like, nah, that ain't gonna work. Nah, let's not do that. But I absolutely wanted her to be a part of the creative process, not just the creative process, but even now, like learning all these different things that I'm going through to uh, make the book as big as possible. Like I want her to know and learn all this stuff right now while she's in high school, because who knows I don't know where her journey is going to lead her, but this is a part of it now, you know. It's something that's going to be around forever. Just as I came on here and you called me an author, right? You know, she's going to be referred to as an author now as well. You know, her name is on this book. She's going to be even more involved with the projects coming forth, or she is even more involved with the projects going forth. You know, it's even more of a learning process for her. Just as I'm learning along this way, she's learning along the way as well. And I think it's really important for me to include her in that and give her this. You know, I feel really fortunate and proud to be able to even do this with her. You know, and I think it's great. I think it's great.
Yeah, I agree, man. That's very honorable. You know, especially as a Black father, man.
Yeah.
Taking a massive. You're making.
Oh man, we out here.
This, you know, because like.
We out here.
Yeah, you out here, man. Because like, if it. What you're doing for her, she probably won't even understand the magnitude of it until she actually starts to develop her own success.
Not yet.
For the kickstart like that, like man, that makes a massive difference on your outcome, man. Big time.
Not yet.
One of the hardest things is to be a creative person and to be like someone with so much drive on your and individuality, but not have a root system to like depend on to get you forward in those type of things, you know, like Absolutely. Me, I didn't know any artist that really took any steps to be big. Although we have a lot of talented artists in my family, nobody was able that I met was able to make a level to where they can teach me like, okay, this is where you start, this is who you talk to and all that. And so for me, it almost like that was kind of the reason why it was hard for me to find the ambition at early ages, because I was scared. I was like, I don't know what to do. I wouldn't know the first step, you know? So for her to have that is just awesome.
Definitely. You know, we gotta be positive examples, you know, whether we want to be role models or not. A lot of times we are role models, you know, whether we realize it or don't realize it. You know, I try to make sure that every step I take is the right step or my best step. My next step is always my best step. And I keep my children in mind at all times. And this is a big part of that.
Awesome, man. Yeah.
I want to let the people know how they can get in contact with you. You know, all the different places they can buy your book, your website. We're going to put all of this in the
for sure.
Section
as of right now, the book, I got a website, getwellhoney.com, GetWellHoney.com. That is our website. That is where you can find the links to everywhere. The book is available through that website. It's also available directly on Amazon.com. You can go to Amazon.com and find, type in Honey the Blue Bunny, and it'll pop up. But there's more to the title. The full title is Honey the Blue Bunny and the Bonaventure Bee. And that'll be the first book in our series. As of right now, we have the Kindle version of the book. As of right now, we have the paperback version of the book. And pretty soon, still being worked on, the audio version will be out soon. I am available on Instagram, or excuse me, Honey is available on Instagram. Honey the Blue Bunny on Instagram. Honey the Blue Bunny. Honey the Blue Bun. I couldn't get the whole name on Twitter, but it's Honey the Blue Bun. But if you start typing in Honey the Blue Bunny, you can find her on Twitter. There's a Facebook page, Honey the Blue Bunny on Facebook. You can find us all these different places. Pretty soon there's going to be a TikTok, but I just haven't figured out how to make some TikTok content for that yet. But I'm working on some commercials and some videos for Honey the Blue Bunny, and she'll be available on all these different streaming or on all these different social platforms. But again, getwellhoney.com is where you can really find everything Honey the Blue Bunny.
That's a solid title right there.
It is.
Get well, honey.
Get well, honey.
It's powerful. You can use it in anything and then just draw it right back to the book, you know, to the character. That's awesome.
Yes, sir.
Nice, man.
GetWellHoney.com.
If you guys have any questions for him, again, go to the website. He does have a contact us portion where you can put in your name, email address.
Absolutely.
You can ask your questions. You can leave comments. He has everything set up. So really all you have to do is just go there, click, buy your book. I have 2 waiting right now in my Amazon cart. So the moment my direct deposit hits, the books are going to be sent out.
Perfect.
I am going to make sure we put the website in the description of the title of the episode, so you guys don't have to do anything but click on there if you're on YouTube. If you're following us on Spotify or Apple, it will be there as well. And I believe in you, sir. I think this is going to be big. I think it's going to be bigger than what you think it's going to be. I'm going to pray for you. When I buy the book, it will sit on my altar. And every time I say a prayer at the altar, I'll be praying over it because I would love to see you make it, man. I would love to
Thank you so much.
Take my children to the theater and we going to see Honey and the Blue Bunny go
for sure.
Whatever.
For sure. I can't wait. It's gonna be amazing.
I'll be like, we had him on the podcast.
Yeah, like I know
absolutely.
him,
I'm gonna be like Will and Terry was there first. You know, y'all was there early. Thank you guys, man. I appreciate the love. I appreciate the support. I appreciate having me on your platform. Thank you for sharing with me. Thank you so much. It's been a great talk. Thank you.
Yeah, man. For sure, man. Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you as well, man. This cannot be the last time. Love to sit down and chop it up with you guys on many other topics again. We can talk about everything. And I'd love to.
Man.
Awesome. Yes, sir. Thank you. Thank you, Terry. I love you, brother. As always, Chase, you already know I love you. Got love for you as well. And I'll be seeing you, I believe, tomorrow on the men's call. Terry, I might shoot you that info too if you want to hop on.
Oh, yeah.
Hey, Terry, what day is it, brother?
Oh, it's Wednesdays. Wednesdays with Will and Terry.
Will and Terry.
Awesome.
Thank you guys for kicking it with us.
We're never gonna get it right because of him.
Nah, we always mess it up, but it's becoming a part. You know.